Hello everybody, my name is Superscrull. Welcome back to Let's Play Feed the Beast Infinity where we last left off. What did we do last episode? I honestly don't remember, but that doesn't matter because a lot of things have changed. A lot of things are different, sort of, not really. I just did a little bit of work. Things look a little bit different and we'll slowly go over it, slash fastly go over it. Anyway, first things first, laboratory blocks and factory blocks. I've been playing around with those because those are basically the blocks that everyone seems to love to build with because they're from Chisel, which means they have lots of different forms. If I look it up, factory block, this is all the different variations of the factory block. The one I have being used is this one right here, the factory block, worn metal wall with ventilation openings. I kind of like that for the walls. I'm not sure. I just did this to show you what it would look like. Like it looks pretty cool in my opinion. Kind of that old factory kind of look. It might look kind of bad in large quantities. Like here, both of it together kind of looks a little bit weird. But you have to remember that this wall is gonna get pushed back. I just put this here to see what it would look like. I also have the laboratory block. So there's lots of different variations of the factory blocks that we can build with. You know, the factory block wireframe, the rusty metal plate stuff. Lots of cool things you can build with. But the laboratory blocks, all these variations, you know, they have some gray ones. The ones I have on the floor is this one right here, the large steel tile. I like the way it looks on top, not the way it looks on the side, so I'm probably going to replace this with something else. But then there's a white variation, so I think maybe I'd go for white on the wall, because that looks kind of cool as well. But it's kind of bright in large quantities, so I don't know. So I like this, and I guess I can go for like a nice clean wall as well, or maybe something else of this type. I just don't know yet. Yeah, so I'm just thinking about that. I also moved over my Emmy. I don't know if I said that before. Yeah, Emmy's here now. I basically have all my machines and stuff set up here. Nothing phantasmical, but basically Emmy's here. And if we go back to the base, I moved the quantum tunnel thing here instead, because I'd prefer to have the main Emmy system where I'm actually going to be living. Now, here is really laggy. I don't know if you can tell by the frame rate, and there's a reason for that. So first of all, I have this stuff still going. 3 stacks of quintuple compressed, nice. Nothing special happening here. But here, I set up another farm, and you'll see in a second. There's a villager here. Basically, I went around to all the villages nearby and just killed the villagers mercilessly and very aggressively so I can get one of their souls, which I did. And then I took their souls and made a spawner because I realized that I was running out of emeralds. So basically, I made an emerald farm. Got 44 blocks of emeralds in there. So there's a spawner up there, as you can see. Some of them get stuck here. I should probably place like blocks here so I don't do it, but I don't care enough. So I have the spawner spawning them into there. I have a little bit of liquid gold in there because if you kill villagers in a spawner, they turn into liquid emeralds. But they only die. They only take damage if there's molten metal in here. So I have to find a system to have molten metal in there, as well as continually take the molten metal out, so that the emerald goes to the bottom, so it can be automatically extracted. And I also have this thing right here, which is the upgraded fluid conduit. The ender fluid conduit here. It's the upgraded version of fluid conduit, because basically, like it says here, it can extract more per tick, and then instant fluid teleportation allows multiple fluids to be transported on the same line, as well as it being able to filter. So I basically have this thing only taking out the emerald. And then over here I have this system here, if I can show you. So basically I have an ender fluid conduit here. So I have it extracting only molten gold. And if you want to know how you filter that, basically you take a bucket of the gold, or whatever metal you want, or liquid, I should say, and just click it on there. And then I have it going into a gold or an open blocks tank. and haven't been pulled out by a normal fluid conduit, so it's being extracted way faster than it's going in, because this thing is instant teleportation of the liquid, and it actually has to move. And so I have this redstone clock here flickering so that it only pulls it, it doesn't constantly pull it, because otherwise it would be extracted way too fast, and it wouldn't go in fast enough. So I basically have it set so that only on a redstone signal does it pull out and go in, and that's why I have this thing here fluctuating, so it's not always pulling out or going in. It just happens, several times per second. And that's basically killing them and removing the gold long enough for the emeralds to stay at the bottom. And that's why this place is so laggy, because not only does having this half full make this super laggy, having lots of mobs spawn and the molten gold in there also makes it laggy. So yeah, lots of things in here causing lag, which means I don't want to be here anymore. Also, this vacuum chest is from Ender.io. It basically just sucks up because the villagers drop gold coins. So I just have this thing sucking up with the drops to make the vacuum chest. Is just this. Pretty simple. Yeah. So I'm just put this back. Actually, I want to fill that up so they don't spawn back there, because this thing isn't big enough to stop them from spawning outside of it. So they are spawning outside of it sometimes. Yeah. Okay, so let's get out of here because it's super laggy. Not good for video. Basically, I just wanted to show you the emerald farm. That's all it is. Oh, I also made this thing here, the Amulet of the Blaze from Runic Dungeons. If we look up the amulets, they're pretty cool. So we have the Amulet of the Wind, Run Like the Wind. Basically, they give you the effects of whatever potion they're made with. So I made one called this player's on fire, Amulet of the Blaze, because I don't want to make the what's it called, the Wyvern armor. The Wyvern armor technically is the same as this armor, except it doesn't let you fly, and it gives you immunity to fire, or to lava, or whatever. It gives you basically permanent fire protection. And it does about the same protection as this armor does, and I kind of like this armor better, because I can wear my jetpack, and if I wore the Wyvern armor, I'd have to find another method of flight, and this jetpack is way faster, so I much prefer this over that, but I don't get the fire protection, so I just made an amulet to give me the fire protection. So pretty simple. There's ones like Amulet of Strength, Leaping, Healing, Iron Skin. The ones that don't have like potions associated with them, like Iron Skin gives you resistance, but there's no potion for that, so the only way to make things like that is to find them in dungeons. But the ones that do have potions, like fire resistance and speed, that you can just make. So I did. And yeah. So let's talk about this thing. I've got my stuff back here happening. This right here are facades. Did I just break that? I did. Darn it. They're like the facades from Applied Energistics, so because they can hide the wire, which I want to do obviously. This right here, I have. There behind this, I have the toggle bus, so I can turn this on and off whenever I want. And then I have just stuff over here. So you can see I have the cable running back there. There's a test rack back there powering all of this. And I have all the things happening here on my machines and whatever. So I went ahead and bit the bullet and made the induction furnace from Industrial Craft. If you don't know how to make that, it's kind of annoying because I have to make other machines to get it. I have to make the compressor and the metal former. So the electrical furnace is, kind of annoying to make, but I had all the material anyway, so it just was tedious, and with Applied Logistics, it wasn't super hard. But to make the advanced machine casing, I have to get this refined iron plate, which is refined iron or steel, in the metal former, and the refined iron I didn't make. I had extra steel, so I did that. But to make refined iron, you can put coal dust and iron in the induction smelter, and it makes refined iron, which is the equivalent of steel in Tinker's Construct. Then to make these advanced alloy, I had to make the compressor. So I had to make 3 different machines to get this. Plus, it needs to always have a redstone signal to stay hot. But what I did was I found an upgrade that inverts the redstone signal. So without a lever, it considers it having a redstone signal, I guess. I don't know. I just figured that out. And this thing is not as fast as the redstone furnace when it's fully upgraded. So I wasted all that time making all this, and I got kind of annoyed because I'm like, it's not even that fast, damn it. And I thought that maybe I could put some, I could just use an electric furnace and put like a billion D overclockers in there. But to make overclockers, you need something called the coolant cell. And to make this coolant, it's kind of impossible. It's not impossible, it's just really annoying. To make the coolant, you have to use, what is it called? There is something. I don't know where it is, but basically you need to mix water and lapis dust in a canning machine, and it turns into liquid coolant, but then you can't directly put that into cells. You have to like take that out somehow and put it into a tank and right-click the cells on it, or somehow put it into a liquid transposer. Really complicated and stupid, so forget that. So maybe I'll make more of these redstone furnaces if I want to have lots of cooking, but I don't really need that right now. Another thing I wanted to show off, okay, that's the recipe for factory blocks. I never showed that off, did I? And laboratory blocks, they're made like that. You get a lot more with factory blocks. Yeah, but I have tons of quartz, so I don't have to worry about that. What else do I have to do? I have a to-do list. So the things I want to make is a tree farm, Mistcraft stuff I want to get going, the ME upgrade. But by that I mean I want to upgrade my system. Big reactor. This is the big reactor I want to make. It'll be able to generate just over 100,000 RF per tick. That seems to me like a good mid-game big reactor. So these are the specs, all the things I'll need. I'll need 1,700 charcoal, 2,500 iron, 554 or 544 yellorium. I have all that basically, and these are the things I need to be able to I need to craft with these resources to do this. How I calculated this is there's a nice little website that simulates how much power and how much fuel usage and how many resources it'll take to make the reactor. It's a really nice little website. It's awesome. I went and got more graphite, not that I need it anymore. So basically I have 71,000 graphite, which 1,700 charcoal, which basically is just used to make the graphite. No problem there. Here's the quarry. I need to make the big reactor, obviously, to power the quarry. Then an energy core, which is a big way to store power. I'll talk about that more later on. And then auto crafting, which is something I want to do for ME. Auto crafting ME. Okay. So how I be able to place all these blocks? I didn't break the ground and then replace it. I actually used something called the resonant exchanger. And this is basically the thermal expansion equivalent of Thaumcraft's wand of equivalent, what is it called? Equal trade? The wand of equal trade, yeah. Where basically you can just replace blocks with something. So I can like, let's take this. I'll take this, I'll put it down. What I do is I shift right click, and then I just take this, and I right click, and it replaces all of that with the block I did. But then it puts it in my inventory. So what I can do is actually just set that and then put it back. So pretty cool, really awesome. The way to make it, there actually is a lower tier version of it. Oh, it's not from Thermal Expansion, it's from Ender Tech. Okay, I'm fine with that. It's awesome. So there is a lower tier one called the Redstone Exchanger. I don't know what exactly the difference is other than the power storage capacity. But I mean, this is just better. This is the higher tier one. You can either make this first and then or use a Tesseract. But either way, just make the higher tier one because I don't. It's not really a big deal for me. So that's a lot of talking. Let's get to something interesting. I made an automatic wither killing room. Huh? Okay, let's talk about how this works. I know I'm not doing anything. I'm just talking. But there will be doing things this episode. I'll probably get something done on my list. Okay, this is how it works. So we have reinforced obsidian, which is a witherproof block. I should just put... Yeah. So we have reinforced obsidian, which is witherproof. It's really expensive because it takes these dark iron bars, which are blast resistant, as well as dark steel, and the dark iron bars are more dark steel. So it takes a bunch of obsidian and iron and coal dust isn't really an issue. So it just a ton of time to make a bunch of this stuff, because the dark steel takes a long time to cook up, even with an octatic capacitor. So yeah, which is unfortunate. But I did have a little bit of it, and I just sort of did it because I wanted a wither spawning box. So basically, I didn't use this for the entire thing because that's super expensive. The bars are cheaper. So I have the outline using these reinforced bars, obsidian, I mean. I suppose I could have used the bars to make the whole thing, but it looks nicer having this as a border. So I did that. And this is basically witherproof. This contains the explosion, so nothing outside gets damaged. Like if the wither was down there and it blew up, it would normally destroy everything underneath it here. Like all this ground as well as this, but it doesn't because it's protected by this. And obviously this machine doesn't blow up, which protects this machine. And these bars contain the explosion, so this conduit doesn't get blown up. And let's talk about how this works. So I have 3 autonomous activators and 4 block placers. Now why I'm using 2 different items to place the blocks is because the block placers from open blocks don't place the heads right. Like they do most times, but sometimes they mess up and it doesn't spawn the wither properly. And the autonomous activators have issues placing the soul sand for some reason. So I have the open blocks ones placing the soul sand and these placing the heads. So I don't have any heads in there right now. Darn, I must have used all of them and I have soul sand in here. And so when I have this redstone conduit sending a signal to all of these to place them. And for some reason, these 2 get the signal longer, so they place blah, 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 blah. They place the soul sand. It doesn't really affect anything. Like, it places it before anything else, but I don't care. And unfortunately, in this version of thermal expansion, autonomous activators require power, so I have to send this ugly conduit up here to send power to these 3. I might go to the config and turn that off, because personally I find that stupid, that it takes power, but whatever, because even if it does, like, it doesn't need to take power, because there's other items to do what it does. But anyway, then I have this wireless redstone transmitter sending a signal to this receiver, which sends the signal here. So basically, if it has items, I hit this button and it spawns the wither. And to make those, pretty simple. Transmitter is just this, stone slabs, obsidian tool rod, or obsidian rod, and then this wireless transceiver, which is an ether pearl. Kind of easy to make, just a little bit of crafting, otherwise it's not too hard. Yeah, so I just did that. It's on a certain channel, and it does things. That's that. So I want to show you it, so let's grab some wither skeleton skulls, I should say. So let's go to the wither skeleton farm. I don't know if I told you I completely blah blah blah. I completely automated this. I don't know if I told you that because it was kind of ridiculous. Oh, I didn't tell you that. Okay, so putting what's it called? Cursed earth underneath vanilla spawners basically makes it so they can spawn mobs even when you're not around. As long as the area is chunk loaded, which I believe I've chunk loaded it. Where did I put the chunk loader? Up there. Oh, I put a spot loader. Spot loader basically just loads the chunk that it's in, the one chunk it's in. So luckily I made this all within one chunk. So I just put a spot loader up here to load the one chunk. And then I have this thing automatically voiding bones, armor, and bows and swords. I don't need the bones for anything, and I'm getting a huge stockpile of bones, so I really don't need them for anything. And this is getting filled up. Darn. Alright, well let's... Let me put the bones back. Yeah, this is getting filled up. I gotta do something about this. I'll come back though. And I have this just because it's really cheap to make the experience obelisk, and it's easier than having drums here that get filled up and then having a bunch of experience around to, you know, cause lag and whatever, nitro creeper. Also, I went around and just made the shovel because I was like, forget it, I need a good shovel. So we did that. And I'm immune to fire, ha! So much talking though, I'm sorry. But let's do this. Get rid of this. And put that in there, that in there, that in there. And let's see this thing in action. So it spawns the wither up here. It falls down far enough that it doesn't blow up those machines. And then once it spawns in, it instantly dies, and its items get sent into my ME system. Now I don't know what to do with experience. I have no way of getting that just yet, so I'm not entirely sure how that works. Because here's the thing. This thing in here has 5 world interaction upgrades, which means it can suck in the items that drop right here when the wither dies. But if I put a vacuum hopper here, for example, which can suck in items as well as experience, that item isn't able to suck in items between blocks. This can suck in items between blocks, which means even though there's something in the way, it can still pick it up, but the vacuum hopper can't. And the reason this thing is so tall, I never really mentioned it, it's about 20 blocks tall. It's so that the explosion doesn't blow these machines up, because I had a bit of an incident where I didn't make it tall enough, and these machines blew up, and I got a little pissed. So this is far enough that the blast won't catch these, because we can't put bars up here, or the wither can't fall down. So we have to just put it far enough so that it doesn't affect it. And that's that. So not wither. Wait, how much? I have 73 more of these? Jeez, I made way too many. Star. I have 78 of those, not bad. Anyway, let's get to something on this list. We've been talking so much, probably super boring. So sorry. So, my phone is ringing. Give me a second. Alright guys, enough of the boring talking. Let's actually get to doing something. I'm thinking... Okay, so I've been short on wood from the very beginning of the series. I've always not had a ton of wood, and I actually don't have that much as it is. Yeah, 851 planks. I mean, that'll take me basically nowhere. Also, I don't know if I said this, but I basically put the carpenter's wedges in here and placed in the stone to show you what it would look like when it's smooth. Looks kind of nice. I mean, this is not obviously not. I'm not going to go with stone, but it looks kind of nice. Another thing I went for is I didn't choose any blocks that are connected to connected textures. Phone, are you kidding me? Like I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, there's no connected textures here, which means placing them in these carpenter's blocks won't affect the texture. So yeah. Anyway, I've always been short on wood. I want to make a tree farm. That's the gist of it. So to do that, I'm going to use a farming station from Ender.io, because that is an awesome thing. Okay, so can I make that? I did make this. The Z-Logic controller, if you want to know how it's made, is like this. You need to have an axe and a shears in there, and then you get these items in the slice and splice, which is this machine. And you get that. And you need electrical steel. What am I missing? Oh, a lot of things. Darn it. I pulsating crystals. Do I have enough to make those? No. I swear I made this already. I swear I did. All the mysteries. Alright, let's get some dirt. How much dirt do I have? Get the builder's wand out. And I'm gonna need some way to power it. Whew. Oh, one thing I wanted to show you, I made this item called a network tool. It's made like this, stuff, and basically it allows you to check. It's like a wrench it works as a wrench as well as telling you how much power your system's using. Like if I right click on the system, it'll tell me what's connected to the system, and then it'll say energy usage 50 RF per tick. But if I turn this on, for example, And then I do that again. Oh, I didn't mean to do that, crap. Now it says I have 8 of these and 1 of these, and I'm using 450 RF per tick, because 8 of these drains 352 RF per tick passively. So it tells you how much power is being used by what, and it's really useful to know if your system's taking too much power or whatever. This is probably done. Diamonds. Also, I think I quarried another. Yeah, I quarried another thing, and I broke down all my draconium into this, so I can cook that up whenever and have a ton of that. But I'll probably have to do the awakening ritual at some point in time. That's just me digressing. Don't need that. Let's put that there. This should be able to be made, right? Yes. I'm gonna take a tesseract, just make my life easier. I'll make some more off screen. I know I keep using them, but they're so good. And I'm gonna want some caches. 2? It depends what kind of tree I want. Yeah, like what kind of tree do I want to farm? We have, no, I'm not going to use those, not those. I could use rubber or I could use oak. Now, rubber would get me tons of rubber, and oak would get me tons of saplings, or not saplings, but, whatchamacalled? Apples. I think I'm going to go with the rubber. Need another cache. And this should be good. I need some axes as well. That'll be a thing I have to work on. Okay, it's nighttime. Let's fix that. Sleeping bag. Apparently a sleeping bag goes on your person. Like when you right click it. Like look. I put that on. It goes to sleep. And I wake up and it's off. And it has like protection 6 or something. So I'm like, that's weird. Okay, let's get rid of these guys. I want to just do it right up here, because why not? This place is already chunk loaded, so it'll be good. And, alright, I need to flatten out an area. Maybe I don't. I want to make this 15 by 15, I think. That'll be good. Because that's the max size for this kind of thing. Let's just do it. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 phone! Seriously, why the balls does the phone keep ringing? It's really distracting. Did someone just shoot at me? I know it wasn't you, because you can't shoot. Where did that come from? Weird. Alright, let's just fix this up fast. Because this episode's probably going to be long and boring like the rest of them. What is shooting at me? Oh, it's not shooting at me, it's the thing. It's the arrows that I have in the ground that are, you know, doing their thing. Okay, so now we find the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we put a tesseract beneath. Those are actually like such convenient ways. Getting power. No, receive, block these. Yay. And put this, it'll start getting power. Let me put saplings in it. Start planting them, as you can see, but I won't be able to harvest them because it needs either an axe or a hoe. As you can see, it says no seeds because it ran out. It needs either an axe or a hoe depending on what it's like what it's harvesting. So it'll automatically plant and harvest them if it has the right tools, which makes it infinitely better than the MFR harvester and planter because you'll need one machine. It's a little more expensive, but yeah, otherwise it's awesome. Let's extract. Oh dear. See, it's not going to harvest that, is it? I don't think so. And I'm thinking how I'm going to go about this. Underneath is probably the better bet. Is it? Thinking. I don't know. I think I'll just get you out of the way for a second. Put that back. I guess for now I'll just do this. Just like that. And then just take a sapling, put it there, lock that. Let's take the wood, put it there, lock that, take the rubber, put it there, lock that. And now let's get this thing in an axe. We need to get a supply of axes actually is what we need. Now I'm not sure if Tinker's axes will work. And I kind of want to try that. So I'll be right back after making like a plastic hatchet or something. I know a mattock will work as a hoe, but I don't know if it works as an axe. I don't think it does. But I'll be right back. Alright, so it looks like it works. I just grew a tree. And it cut it down. Why is it? Oh, it's dark. I'm dumb. Alright, come on. Tried to sleep that off already. Okay, can you stupid trees grow or something? Also, it should be noted that if you make an unbreakable tool, like it says unbreakable, even putting it in this machine voids that. It basically will still lose durability, even if it's unbreakable. So it doesn't matter if you make one of those tools. I just made a hatchet out of plastic and obsidian, and manulin, I mean, because it'll have the best durability. I'll probably put like reinforced or more durability on there or something like that, just to use the modifiers, just so I can get better use out of it. And I want to see if this actually is putting items in here. So it's 31, 31, 3. The 3 are from what I put in there. Let's see when it cuts it down. Yep. Okay. Seems to be working. Yep. Nice. Let's throw this in here. Get it going to all sides. Because these are all the 4 corners around it. So it needs to be able to plant it everywhere. So yeah. So that's it. I have a wood farm. Awesome. That's tree things happening. Done. I will need the wood. I'll have to go up there and manually collect it. But I'll figure out a way to fix that later on. I won't need to have it running for that long, realistically. Because it'll get me a ton of wood really fast. And then after that, I can just tear it down. And farm something else, maybe. So if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like down below. And I'll see you guys next time where we do Mistcraft, I guess. Because that's the next on our list. I know I don't want to exactly follow this order. But this is the general idea of how I want to progress. And this is good. Because now I don't have to think about what I have to do. I don't have to be like daunted by the task of like, I don't want to record Feed the Beast because I don't know what to do. It'll be boring if I don't know what I'm doing. But now I know. And I won't do anything off screen, so I don't have to talk for like half an hour at the beginning of each episode, because Mistcraft doesn't really require any setup. I can do it all on screen and still be awesome. So, hope you catch the video. Leave a like down below. I said it already once, but I'll say it again, and I'll see you guys next time.